I already told you that romantic writers, romantic poets, uh, they often described death. They often described, um, they always talked about death, and they even glorified death. So that's another feature of uh, romantic poetry. Death. Why did they glorify death? Because, as I told you earlier, that one of the features of romantic poetry is escapism. They were actually criticized. I mean, the critics of romantic literature or romantic poets um, criticized the romantic writers for being escapists, because the romantic writers often ran off into the lap of nature. They often escaped from the harsh realities of everyday life, the mundane realities of everyday life, and they want to escape. So, death is again a kind of escape which the romantic poets um, endorsed, which the romantic poets really liked, because it provided them an escape from life which is dreary, life which is dreadful. Same is the case with Lamb. Lamb's present life is dreadful. Lamb's present life is very um, painful. He is not married, he has no children, but he dreams about them, and he remembers the past. He remembers his childhood, and um, seems to tell the stories of his childhood to his dream children, not real children, but dream children. So death is a kind of escape. Death is death provides peace from the present problems of one's life. Anyway, let's proceed. I hope you have your texts in front of you. The text is provided in the WhatsApp group. If you don't have, just download and look at them. I missed his kindness, and I missed his crossness, and wished him to be alive again, to be quarrelling with him, for we quarrelled sometimes, rather than not to have him again, and was as uneasy without him as he, their poor uncle, must have been when the doctor took off his limb. So he's still talking about his brother John, and he misses his crossness, his quarrelsome nature, his irritating nature. I mean, that's what happens with siblings. I mean, if you have your brother and sister, you would often quarrel with them, you would disagree with them, you will fight for some chocolate or some food that you need to share with your brother or sister. But when and you would wish that your brother or sister were not at home, or would not get wind of the food item that there is in the house. um, but when the same brother and sister is away from the house, or has joined some course and has to stay away from the house for a long time, you miss that person. Similarly, Lamb also misses his kindness, because he was kind to him, John was kind to him when Lamb was lame-footed. He carried him across fields on his shoulders. But he also missed his crossness. He also missed his short-temperedness, and he wishes that he would be alive again, and they would start quarreling, because they quarreled just like any other two brothers. They would quarrel, and he was very uneasy without him. He had gotten used to his brother, and without him he feels very uneasy. He feels incomplete. um, and he feels that he feels equally unpleasant, or equally uh, incomplete, as John might have had felt when the doctor took off his limb, when the doctor amputed his limb. Perhaps John Lamb too had felt the way now Charles is feeling. Can you tell me, why is he comparing uh, the taking off of the limb, amputation of the limb, with his absence? He compares Charles Lamb compares the absence of his brother with the absence of a limb. Why? You can, if you wish, you can answer in Hindi or Bengali also. I just need to understand if you are understanding the essay. Missing that warmth. A limb. How is a limb associated with warmth? Shama, Khushi, I don't see you very often in the class. I mean, I don't remember seeing you at all. You may try. चाइले बांग्लाয় बोलते पारो, हिंदी में बता सकते हैं कि आप क्या सोच रही हैं, कि क्या सोचते हो तुम लोग कि क्यों लैम्ब किसी हाथ पैर की तुलना जॉन के साथ कर रहा है. Yes, Kushi, would you try? Shama? Show me? Why not? I mean, it's not an exam, you just have to. আমরা নিজেদের যারা আমাদের কাছের লোক হয় তাদের সাথে আমাদের নিজেদের হাত পায়ের তুলনা করছি. যেমন আমাদের হাত পা যদি কেটে যায় তাহলে আমরা অসম্পূর্ণ থাকব. লিম্ব মানে হাত পা, দিজ আর লিম্বস. তো আমাদের যদি হাত পা কেউ কেটে দেয় তাহলে আমরা অসম্পূর্ণ হয়ে যাব. ঠিক সেরকমই কোনো মানুষ আমাদের জীবনে পূর্ণতা আনে. তো সেই মানুষটা যদি না থাকে তাহলে আমাদের জীবনটা অসম্পূর্ণ হয়ে যায়. এই জন্যই ল্যাম্ব নিজের দাদার তুলনা করছে, যে ওর দাদা যেমন ওর জীবনে আর নেই, তাই জন্য ও অসম্পূর্ণ বোধ করছে. ঠিক সেরকমই যখন ল্যাম্বের পাটা অ্যাম্পিউট করা হয়েছিল, বাদ দেওয়া হয়েছিল, তখন ল্যাম্ব যে জিনিসটা ফিল করেছে সেইটাই সরি, যেটা জন ফিল করেছে যে ওর একটা পা নেই, ও অসম্পূর্ণ বোধ করেছে নিজেকে, ঠিক সেরকমই ল্যাম্বো নিজেকে এখন অসম্পূর্ণ বোধ করছে, কারণ ওর দাদা আর ওর কাছে নেই। বোঝা গেল সৌমি?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ওকে, Shama and Khushi, are you even here or just have logged in and doing something else?
यस सर।
ओके, सो समझ में आया क्या हो रहा था? क्यों? क्योंकि ये सवाल आ सकता है एग्जाम में कि चार्ल्स लैम्ब, why is Charles Lamb comparing the loss of a limb, the loss of a leg by John
सर
with the
आपका
loss
आवाज
of?
बीच बीच में अटक जा रहा है।
कब? बाकी लोग को सुनाई दे रहा है कि सिर्फ शमा का प्रॉब्लम है?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, আপনার আওয়াজে একটু প্রবলেমই হচ্ছে।
ओके, कहाँ से प्रॉब्लम हुआ है बताओ शमा, मैं रिपीट कर दूंगा। If my voice breaks up, unmute yourself and tell me that the voice is breaking up, or send a message and I will repeat that portion. Okay, यहाँ तक अगर किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम है तो बताओ। Okay, so I'll proceed. Um, Here the children fell a crying, and asked if their little mourning which they had on was not for Uncle John, and they looked up and prayed me not to go on about their uncle, but to tell them some stories about their pretty dead mother. Listening to all this, the two children started to cry because they were sad that Uncle John is no more, or Uncle John had a tough life. And they asked if the the black colored dress that they were wearing in England, in the Western society, in the Christian countries, uh, they wear black to show that they are mourning. मातम मनाने का जो ड्रेस है वो ब्लैक है. Like in our culture, it is white. When we go to a funeral, we wear white. But in their culture, if they are showing sadness, if they are observing uh, the death of a person, a relative, a friend, then they wear black. So the children were wearing black colored clothes. And they asked if the dress that they were wearing is related to the death of uh, their uncle John. And they prayed, they requested that they should change the topic, their father should change the topic, because it's too sad to hear about Uncle Lamb who is no more, Uncle John who is no more. But they asked Lamb, Charles Lamb, to talk about um, their mother, pretty mother, who is dead. So everybody is dead here. Great grandmother Field is dead. Um, John Lamb is dead. Now we know that the Dream Children's mother is also dead. As I said earlier, let me know if my voice breaks up. If you have any issues hearing the voice, let me know. I will repeat.
नहीं सर, अभी
Then
थोड़ा क्लियर आ रहा है.
हाँ ठीक है, जैसे ही कोई प्रॉब्लम हो अनम्यूट करके बोलना या मैसेज कर देना, मैं फिर से रिपीट करूँगा.
ओके सर.
Okay. Then I told how for 7 long years, in hope sometimes, sometimes in despair. Despair means losing all hope. DESPAIR, despair means losing all hope. और कोई आशा না বাঁচনা, কোনো আশা না থাকার যে সিচুয়েশনটা হয় সেটাকে despair বলে. DESPAIR, despair. Sometimes in despair, yet persisting ever, I quoted the fair Alice Winterton, and as such, as much children could understand, I explained to them what coyness means to feel shy. COY, coy means shy. So coyness and difficulty and denial meant in maidens. So now Lamb starts to talk about their mother. So Lamb started to say that he was quoting their mother for 7 years. Quoting means to woo, to show love, like in a very colloquial language we can say that पटानोर चेष्टा करछिल, 7 साल से पटाने का कोशिश कर रहा था. चार्ल्स लैम्ब. In real life, however, Charles Lamb could never marry Alice Winterton, though Lamb did try to marry her. Lamb did propose her, but the marriage never materialized. Anyway, so but this is the hope and despair. When a person is trying to court a lady, when a man is trying to court a woman, sometimes the man's heart is full with hope, and sometimes the man loses all hope. The same happens with women also. Sometimes the woman responds, sometimes the woman doesn't. So sometimes the man thinks that the woman is in love with him, sometimes he realizes that the woman does not love him. And the same thing happened with Charles Lamb and his beloved Alice Winterton. And he tried to explain to the children what shyness meant in maidens. Maidens means unmarried woman. What is difficulty, what is denial. Like, even if the lady would be in love, even if the lady would like a man, the lady would not readily say so. हमारे यहाँ भी ऐसा होता है ना कि अगर लड़की प्यार भी करती है लड़के से, तो वो पहले दिन ही, पहले बार में ही हाँ नहीं बोलती, थोड़ा सा ঘুমাতি, একটুখানি দেখে নেয়, টেস্ট করে নেয় যে ছেলেটা সত্যি সিরিয়াস আছে কিনা. কারণ ছেলেরা অনেক মেয়েদেরকেই প্রপোজ করতে থাকে, যার সাথে লেগে গেল. তো the girl wants to see if the boy is really serious about her, and if one of the symbols of seriousness is that the boy would keep proposing the girl. But for 7 years I think it is too much. But in those days courtship used to extend to 7 years. In case of Keats also, Keats tried to marry the girl she loved for many years, but ultimately they couldn't marry. So Lamb, Alice Winterton often denied that she loved Charles Lamb. She took tests of Charles Lamb. There was a lot of difficulty. There might be some kind of a class difference. Maybe Charles Lamb was poor and Alice Winterton's family was rich, and there was trouble because of that. So when Charles Lamb was explaining all of this, when suddenly, turning to Alice, the soul of the first Alice looked out at her eyes with such a reality of representment that I became in doubt which of them stood there before me, or whose that bright hair was, and while so while Charles Lamb was uh, talking about these things, he suddenly felt as if the original Alice, that is his dream wife, appeared in the face of little Alice. অনেক সময় এরকম আমাদের মনে হয় যে কোনো শিশুর মধ্যে আমরা তার মা বা তার বাবাকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি। চোখ দুটো বা মুখের আদলটা এমনভাবে হয় যে আমাদের মনে হয় যে ওই বাচ্চাটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি ওই অ্যাডাল্ট পার্সনটা। তো সেরকমই चार्ल्स लैम्बेरो मने हलो। चार्ल्स लैम्ब को लगा कि असली की जो एलिस है, जिसके साथ वो शादी करना चाहता था, जिसके साथ शादी नहीं हुई, वो बच्चे की जगह पर वो आ गई है, और उसको पता नहीं चल रहा था कि ये कौन है, ये एडल्ट एलिस है जिससे वो प्यार करता था, या ये उसकी ड्रीम चिल्ड्रन है, दूसरी एलिस है जो बच्ची है। Both the children, and while I stood gazing, both the children gradually grew fainter to my view, receding and still receding, till nothing at last but two mournful features were seen in the uttermost distance. Now, when Charles Lamb was surprised to look at the image of the real Alice, the image of the original Alice, the two children, the images of the two children receded, went back, as if there is a, there's a reverse. They went in reverse, like you have in your videos, which is like played backwards. So the children were going away from Charles Lamb, and they receded and receded, went back and back, until only what was left, two mournful features were seen in the uttermost distance. ল্যাম্বের মনে হলো যেন ওই দুটো বাচ্চা গ্র্যাজুয়ালি পেছোতে থাকলো, তারপরে শুধুমাত্র তাদের দুটো মোনফুল ফিচার্স দেখা গেল, যে যেন দুটো অনেক দূরে দুটো ইমেজ রয়েছে, দুটো ছায়া রয়েছে, আর তারা মোর্নফুল, তারা দুঃখ প্রকাশ করছে। दो बच्चे धीरे धीरे रिवर्स में जाते रहे, दूर होते रहे चार्ल्स लैम्ब से, तब तक दूर होते रहे जब तक सिर्फ उनके बहुत हल्के से कुछ फीचर्स नज़र आ रहे थे। जैसे दूर से होता है, बहुत दूर से हम किसी चीज़ को देखते हैं तो समझ में नहीं आता है कि वो इंसान है या कोई कपड़ा है या क्या है, बस हल्का सा कुछ फीचर नज़र आता है, सर या धड़ नज़र आता है ऐसे। और ये जो बच्चे थे ये भी बस बहुत दूर चले गए जैसे चार्ल्स लैम्ब से, और दूर से बस चार्ल्स लैम्ब को ऐसा लगा जैसे दो बहुत ही दुखियारी चीज़ें हैं, दुख से बनी हुई दो हल्के इमेजेस हैं जो बहुत दूर से देखने से हमें लगता है। सैडनेस is coming out of these images, or that's what Lamb felt, which without speech strangely impressed upon me the effects of speech. They were not talking. These two images, these two figures, distant figures, mournful figures, did not speak, but as if they spoke. Lamb felt that they were speaking. ল্যাম্বের মনে হলো যে ওরা বলছে, but actually they were not speaking. But according to Lamb felt that perhaps they spoke, they said something. What did they say? We are not of Alice, nor of thee, nor are we children at all. वो बच्चे बोलने लगे, या लैम्ब को लगा कि वो बच्चे बोल रहे हैं कि वो एलिस के बच्चे नहीं हैं, ना ही चार्ल्स लैम्ब के हैं। ওরা না অ্যালিসের সন্তান, না চার্লস ল্যাম্বের সন্তান। ওরা তো সন্তানই নয়, ওরা তো বাচ্চাই নয়। nor are we children at all. They are not children. The children of Alice called Bartram father. So Alice Winterton had actually married Bartram, a person called Bartram. We are nothing, less than nothing, and dreams. So at last we realize that Charles Lamb was dreaming, and the children told Lamb that, see, we are not children, we are nothing, we are less than nothing, we are just dreams. And when we are talking about dreams, I don't know if it was your class, if it was second semester, where I was talking about Freud. Did I ever speak about Freud in the class? Sigmund Freud. Rupankar? Yes. But all the other four were not there in the class. So I will try to explain briefly this thing about dream. And if in your answer you can somewhere use it, then it will be good. It will be the examiner would understand that you have studied these things. This is not something that other students will be able to write. So this could make your answer look better than most of the other answers that the examiner is going to look at. So according to Freud, and let me know in which question, like any questions related to dream, any questions related to Charles Lamb. I mean, this is a general theme, this dream in literature. You will find the motif of dream getting repeated in literature time and again. You will find the theme of dream in literature, and this knowledge about the source of this symbol might help you in your future also. So to be very plain, to be very simplistic, to be very straightforward, according to Sigmund Freud was a psychologist. মাথার ডাক্তার, যেমন অন্য ডাক্তার হয়, আমাদের শরীর খারাপ হলে আমরা ডাক্তারের কাছে যাই, ঠিক সেরকমই আমাদের যদি মাথায় কোনো সমস্যা হয় তাহলে আমরা সাইকিয়াট্রিস্ট বা সাইকোলজিস্টের কাছে যাই। অ্যান্ড Sigmund Freud was one of the early psychologists. Okay, so he was talking about dreams. He was researching on dreams. His book named Interpretation of Dreams, it was translated into English in 1900, but it was written in French in 1899. And this book and Sigmund Freud's name would come again and again throughout your 4 years of English literature. You will be forced to acknowledge, you will be forced to use the term, the word associated with this theory time and again, and it is called psychoanalysis. Analysis of psychology, analysis of psyche is known as psychoanalysis, and it is closely associated with literature. যত ভালো এই জিনিসটাকে তোমরা বুঝবে প্রথমেই, ঠিক yes, it is in education, it will be in philosophy, it is there in almost all সাবজেক্টস। যত ভালো এখন যদি বুঝে যাও ব্যাপারটাকে, তত ভালোই পরবর্তীকালে এটাকে বুঝতে লাগবে, কারণ এই শব্দটা সাইকোলজিক্যাল অ্যানালিসিস, সাইকি, সাইকোলজিক্যাল ডিসঅর্ডার, সাইকোসিস, হিস্টিরিয়া, এই কথাগুলো বারবার বারবার উঠে আসবে যখনই আমরা লিটারেচার নিয়ে আলোচনা করব। সো খুশি অ্যান্ড শামা, লেট মি নো ইফ ইউ আর ওকে উইথ বাংলা. If you face any difficulty understanding English or Bangla, do tell me. I will repeat the same in Hindi also, okay, as far as I can. But since I guess
हिंदी में थोड़ा back
हाँ, हिंदी में अगर बोले तो साइको एनालिसिस जो है वो साइकोलॉजी समझती हो ना, कि
yes sir
हाँ, वो माइंड का जो स्टडी होता है. यस खुशी, you have raised your hand, Kushi. Is it by mistake or do you want to ask something? Okay. तो सिगमंड फ्रॉयड जो था वो एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट था, वो एक कह सकते हैं विज्ञानी था, विज्ञान का आदमी था. तो उसने क्या किया, उसने सपनों का इंटरप्रिटेशन किया कि हम सपना क्यों देखते हैं. कभी कभी हम अपने आप से सवाल करते हैं कि सपने क्यों देखते हैं हम लोग, और उन सपनों का मतलब क्या है. कभी कभी कुछ, ज़्यादातर हमारे जो सपने होते हैं वो उल जुलूल सपने ही होते हैं, वो कुछ मीनिंगफुल नहीं रहता है उसमें. तो हम बहुत बार खुद से सवाल करते हैं कि ये इस सपने का क्या मतलब है. तो फ्रॉयड जो थे, उन्होंने वो जो किताब उन्होंने लिखा था वो उनके प्रैक्टिस के ऊपर बेस्ड था कि लोग सपने क्यों देखते हैं, उन सपनों का मतलब क्या है. तो इंटरप्रिटेशन का मतलब है कि सपनों का मतलब समझना, ठीक है, ये सपना क्यों देखा गया. तो उन्होंने कहा था कि ड्रीम्स आर विश फुलफिलमेंट. सभी सपने जो होते हैं वो सिर्फ हमारे दिल में जो हम जो चाहते हैं करना लेकिन कर नहीं पाते हैं, हमारी जो दबी हुई चाहतें होती हैं, वो सपनों में बाहर आती हैं. Whatever we wish to do throughout our life or throughout our day or throughout our existence, যা কিছু আমরা করতে চাই সেগুলো করতে পারি না, जो हम कर नहीं पाते हैं वो हम सपने में कर लेते हैं. Suppose you are feeling thirsty. This is a very common dream. Suppose you are feeling thirsty, so you will drink water in your dream. কারোর সাথে এরকম কোনোদিনও হয়ে থাকলে বলবে, হাত তুলতে পারো, যে if you are feeling thirsty in the dream, yes, you will see that you are drinking a lot of water, or you have gone to the ocean, or you are enjoying yourself under a waterfall. Why? Because your mind is telling you that you need water. your wish to have water is getting fulfilled in the dream. तो ड्रीम में हमारे पास जो नहीं होता है हम वो देख लेते हैं ताकि दिमाग के ऊपर प्रेशर कम हो, क्योंकि हम जो चीज़ें हासिल नहीं कर पाते हैं उससे हमारे मन को तकलीफ होती है, उससे हमारे दिल को तकलीफ पहुंचता है. बट वी वांट दैट. और कहाँ मिल जाएगी वो चीज़ें? ड्रीम में, सपनों में. हकीकत में जो हमारे पास नहीं होती है, जो हमें नहीं मिलती है, हम वो सपनों में देख लेते हैं कि हमें मिल गया. ठीक है. और एक कॉमन सपना जो है वो है कि हम हमारे क्रश से मिल रहे हैं. ठीक है. जो रियल लाइफ में नहीं पॉसिबल है वो हम सपने में पूरा कर लेते हैं. तो यहाँ पे जो ड्रीम है, द ड्रीम दैट वी आर सीइंग हियर is of course the dream that Lamb could not fulfill in his real life, and that is why he is dreaming about children. Lamb wanted children. Lamb wanted to get married. Lamb wanted to have a family. Lamb wanted to marry Alice Winterton, but he could not do any of those, and that is why he is dreaming. And this is the pathetic condition. This gives us this makes us feel sad for the author, that oh, look at the poor condition of the author. Bechara is dreaming which he cannot have in his life. Let's continue. We are only that might have been, and must wait upon the tedious shores of Lethe millions of years before we have existence. Now, what is Lethe? Lethe. Lethe. Lethe is the name of the river that flows in hell. It is also known as the river of forgetfulness, also known as the Styx river. Styx, Styx. In various mythologies, various names have been given to this river. Basically, according to Greek and Roman mythology, this is the river that takes, if you cross this river, you cross from the living world to the world of the dead. এই নদীটা যদি তুমি ক্রস করো তাহলে তুমি ইহলোক থেকে, এই জগৎ থেকে অন্য জগতে চলে যাবে. you will cross from the life to the life of to the dead. মানে মৃত্যুলোক থেকে স্বর্গলোকে চলে যাওয়া এরকম আর কি. So these children have to wait millions of years before they become reality. Christians don't believe in afterlife. I mean, after birth, not in afterlife, but in after birth. হিন্দু ধর্মে যেমন আছে যে অনেকবার আমরা জন্ম নিতে পারবো, 7টা জন্ম. I don't know about what it is there in Islam about getting rebirths. কিন্তু হিন্দু ধর্মে একবার মরে গেলে তুমি আরো 6বার জন্ম নিতে পারবে. You have like 7 chances. Maybe Lamb is trying to talk about something like this, that after millions of years of birth and death, maybe in some reality, maybe in some jonmo, in some rebirth, in some reincarnation, these children will be the children of Lamb, but not in this life. So they need to wait a lot. And a name. They don't have any name right now. And immediately awaking, I found myself quietly seated in my bachelor armchair where I had fallen asleep, with the faithful Bridget unchanged by my side. But John Lamb, or James Elia, was gone forever. So this made Lamb awake from his dream. Of course, he was dreaming, and he was seated in the bachelor armchair where he had fallen asleep. চেয়ারে বসে সে ঘুমিয়ে পড়েছিল এবং মানে ঘুম থেকে উঠে দেখলো যে ওখানেই রয়েছে। The faithful Bridget unchanged by my side. I think Bridget is the name of her sister. Bridget ওরকমই ছিল যেরকম মানে ঘুমের আগে, ড্রিমের আগে ও ওকে রেখে গেছিল, চুপচাপ বসেছিল হয়তো। বাট জন এল অর জেমস এলিয়া ওয়াজ গন ফরএভার। কিন্তু জন ল্যাম্ব মারা গেছে। জন ল্যাম্ব আর ওখানে নেই, না বাচ্চাগুলো আছে, না জন ল্যাম্ব আছে। There has always been a question like who was this? Yes, her name was Mary, but like we have many names to ourselves, and our parents or our family calls us by various names. I think Bridget was like a nickname for Mary, but this Bridget could be someone else also. I will find out, or you can also search the internet for as to who was Bridget, because this could be a question in your exam, 1 mark question, that who was Bridget. Okay. And faithful because she had not left the side of Lamb in all this. Even if Lamb had fallen asleep, Bridget had not moved from his side. Okay, with that we come to an end of the essay. If you have any questions, unmute and ask me. তোমাদের যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে জিজ্ঞেস করো, সওয়াল हो तो पूछ सकते हो. And I think I have given you a list of probable questions from this essay. So yes, there's a question. No. In Charles Lamb's essay Dream Children, a Reverie, Bridget is a character based on Lamb's real life sister Mary Lamb. Yes, in the essay Lamb nostalgically recounts stories to his imaginary children. Bridget represents the love and supportive figure. Yes. So, this is by ChatGPT. So yeah, Bridget is Mary Lamb. Okay, any questions? कुछ सवाल है? शमा, खुशी, Choumi or Rupankar? Yes, as I was saying, I had given you some topics already, right, Rupankar? Okay. So I think I have also given you some answers also, right? Okay. So you should prepare, you should study those questions and answers, and maybe I don't have anything else with you right now, or do I? Like I was supposed to discuss the Romantic Age and Charles Lamb. কিছু ইম্পর্টেন্ট কোয়েশ্চেন্স গ্রুপে ডিসকাস করলে ভালো হয়, কারণ কোয়েশ্চেন্সগুলো আমার কাছে নেই। রূপঙ্কর মনে বা আমি হয়তো এগুলো গ্রুপেই দিয়ে দিয়েছিলাম কোয়েশ্চেন্সগুলো।